pitcher, Matt Lees. Coach will open up with an opening statement, then we'll open the floor for questions.
Well, we're certainly excited to be here. Obviously, against three very good teams. Facility looks great. Super impressed with everything so far. Got a chance to get out and do a quick workout there a couple minutes ago, and hoping the rain holds off. Obviously, the outfield was a little bit wet, but the synthetic surface will be really nice and will play really well for us. And hitter's ballpark for certain. You know, guys are having some fun out there today with the wind. So certainly excited and ready for the challenge. Go ahead.
Can anybody? Logan, 11-game win streak. Taking it back to before that started, was there a rallying cry? Listen, we got to get this.
Yeah, in a sense, I wouldn't say it was a rallying cry, but at one point we knew that we were on the outside looking in, and we were right outside top 7, top 8 teams, and there was a chance that we weren't going to make the conference tournament. And we actually had to sit down with coach and the team, and we knew that in order for us to make the conference tournament, we're going to have to turn around and win the next 2 weekend series, in-conference series. And as guys, I think the turning point is when, like, we realized that we had the talent on this roster to go to the conference tournament, let alone we all felt like we could win it. And being on the outside looking in, we knew that couldn't happen to this group of guys. So, you know, going into that weekend with Fordham, we knew that we had to win at least 2. We were fortunate enough to sweep, and ever since then we got it rolling. Everybody's bought into what we're doing, and we've been going ever since, pretty much.
Sean, what was that conversation like?
You know, looking back, it wasn't necessarily a rally to go win 11 straight. I know that. It was just one of those talks where I felt like myself and I felt like the pulse of the team was nobody wanted to end our season the way we were playing at that point. And we just kind of talked about that. And we kind of talked about taking the opponent out of the equation and just playing versus the game. You know, doing the things that we could do to win a baseball game, throw strikes, catch a baseball, you know, all the things you talk about with your club. And to be honest with you, at the time, did I know it was going to be a turnaround? Absolutely not. All the credit goes to those guys. We won 3 close ball games versus Fordham. And they were all run games. We had to make big plays to win them all. And that kind of set the confidence going. And since then is when we really caught fire.
Logan, in the conference tournament, the way you did with that catch out in center field, what was that moment like for you? And was that sort of a jolt as you guys get ready for this weekend?
Yeah, I think, you know, I definitely didn't expect to end the game that way. I think it ended pretty cool, and I think it pretty much put the exclamation point on the way we were rolling at the time. And for me to just make that catch and to see all the guys happy and excited, you know, I laid there for a bit and thought, wow, like this is how the conference tournament just ended, and we got a ring. So, but it felt great, and I'm happy that it happened, and I was fortunate enough for it to be me, and just got a chance to make a play, you know, and it felt great.
Coach, what can you tell us about the left receiver more? I know he's had a lot of success. Jojo Howie, kind of his story is a pretty special story, just the fact of all that he's battled through his life.
He does, and we were joking before practice today. We call him the Jojo Howie experience more than we call him Jojo Howie. You know, he's unbelievable. One of the greatest competitors, maybe the greatest competitor I've ever coached, maybe. And you know, he's a special kid, an unbelievable teammate. Jojo has he's fought through a little bit of muscular dystrophy through his life. You know, and he's had a tough time putting weight on through most of his life, and he couldn't play a lot of sports because of that. You know, so to see him go out and everything that he does is just out of sheer will is really, really special. And I tell you, he's one of those guys that you want him on your dugout, you probably don't want him in the other dugout. You know, you don't like him if he's in the other dugout because just the way he goes at it, he's as competitive as anybody is. And, you know, hopefully he's the right matchup tomorrow. And the nice thing about Jojo and really all these guys is we know no matter what happens tomorrow, we'll absolutely get everything out of him that we can. And, you know, and that's fine.
Sean, I'm from Austin. I'm curious, did you and Shaka have a relationship?
Absolutely. Yeah, Shaka and I were good friends while he was at VCU, and I'm sure we'll continue to text back and forth and stuff. His staff reached out to us. Wasn't long after we had won the A10 championship. All those guys are unbelievable people. Coach Smart is exactly what you see is exactly who he is all the time. He is one of the most genuine people that I've ever met. And as a young coach, to have him as a guy on, you know, in our athletic department to turn to and ask questions to is I was really, really fortunate, you know.
What kind of questions would you ask him?
Well, I don't know if you know much about our story, but I kind of took the program over under different situations. Our head coach at the time, Paul Keyes, passed away from melanoma in November of 2012. So here I was, you know, and kind of handed the reins to the club, and just to be able to get with him, he made himself really available for me at that time, and he was just coming off the Final Four run, and Shock-A-Mania was going wild, you know, and just to be able to sit down in his office and you know, some of the things that we would talk about, and you know, about the process of coaching, about the relationship with the players, and what needed to be done at that point, really was helpful to me. Unbelievable person.
How old were you when you got the job?
How old was I? Let's see, I was, how old am I now? I was 32. I am 35. I think that's my wife.
Matt, your coach mentioned the way this park plays. Is there any concern at all for you, or anything that you have to change to make sure that you maybe keep it down in zone a little bit and keep it out of the wind?
No, I mean, throughout the year, you know, we've played a bunch of small ballparks, and, you know, I've kind of just done my own thing and kind of, you know, kept the ball down as it was, and, you know, I've had pretty good numbers, and I mean, I've had a great defense behind me, so, I mean, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I mean, there's some really good teams here.
I agree.
Do you see you guys yourself? I mean, VCU, we've heard underdog going back to the basketball day. Do you guys view yourself as that, or how do you view yourself?
I mean, I think everybody else sees us as underdog. I don't think we do it at all, because I think at any given moment, any team can lose. If you're on that day, you're on. You know, like Coach said, you play against the ball. You know, you control those things you control, and if you do what you have to do and leave everything up to chance, I think anybody could lose on any given day. I mean, you see it every weekend, week in, weekend out. Like, if anybody goes into a game as an underdog, you play a 3-game series, and I think that's why you play it, because sweeps don't happen too often. So anybody could lose on any day.
Sir? Guys, thank you.
Thank you.